Pencil. This object has a silver ferrule that connects its most important part with its handle. Identify this object whose bristles are used by artists to apply paint to a canvas. Maggie? Karen? It is a paintbrush. Very good.
Okay, it's going, but I don't know what I did.
Thank you.
I just
I
closed
think it
the
was a
tab.
connection.
I closed the tab, I was going to get it changed before it's plugged into.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, concept number 6 is social studies history. The 2020 book, A World Beneath the Sand, tells how Europeans competed to find the ancient treasures of what country? Treasures that have included the Rosetta Stone and King Tut's tomb. Noah. Egypt is correct. The score is 40-10 as we go on to concept number 7, language arts literature. Aww. His house may disappear without warning if his friends are trying to help him. His tail, once used as a bell pull, is now held in place by a nail. He often eats thistles and says things like, "We can't all take it, and some of us don't," while staying in his gloomy place in the 100. Isabella. Eeyore is correct. Named the pessimistic donkey and friend of Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore. Social studies history is concept number 8. Its republic's beginning is credited as 509 BC, after the overthrow of Tarquinius Superbus, the last of its 7 kings. Name this city-state whose republic is considered to, Caleb? Incorrect. Name the city-state whose republic is considered to have ended in 27 BC when its Senate converted to an empire by naming Octavian its first Augustus. Noah. Rome is correct. Yeah. Concept 9 is language arts vocabulary. One example of this word would be a Republican getting criticized by a newspaper for doing something that the newspaper wouldn't mention at all if the Democrat did it. Give this 2-word phrase for a situation where one group of people is criticized for doing something that another group can do without criticism. Maggie? Maggie? Incorrect. Called a double standard, where I can do it and you can't. All right, concept number 10 is miscellaneous television. This first ever female White House correspondent later hosted CBS's Face the Nation. Name this journalist angered in October 2020 when President Trump showed his unedited interview with her before she could edit it her own way for 60 minutes. Audit. Incorrect. Say O'Donnell. One. It is Stahl. Leslie Stahl. All right, new pencil, mathematics geometry. It is a 30-second question. All right, during an annual Christmas bird watch, a group of people count the number of Canadian geese they see over a period of several hours. When X equals 1, the first year, the group saw 10 birds per hour. The second year, the group saw 12 birds per hour. Give, in slope-intercept form, an equation for the straight line connecting the 2 points. August?
Y equals 2x.
That is correct. Y equals 2x plus 8. Good job. For a 70 to 10, we are going on to class of number 12. Language arts, literature. Its second book tells of the moss-flowered country, where its fourth tells of a rat named Gabul the Wild, and its seventh tells of a fox wolf named Urban the Grue. Its good characters include Mariel and Matthias, who are both great mouse warriors. Identify this book series by the late Brian Dog, named for the abbey where its animals live. It is the Redwall series. Concept 13 is science health. The late J. Michael Lane was the last head of the program to eradicate this disease caused by the variola virus, whose last case was in Somalia in 1977. Early work on a vaccine for this disease was done by Edward Jenner. Identify this deadly ailment that left scars on the skin of its survivors. Caleb? Not polio. It was smallpox. All right, concept 14 is mathematics computers. You do not need a pencil. You can use Alice or Blackfoot to begin learning this language. Originally developed by Sun Microsystems, it includes an FX platform, a runtime environment, and a virtual machine. Identify this computer language, now supervised by Oracle. August? Java is correct. That allows web applications to be run within an internet browser. Java. Concept 15 is social studies and geography. Tourists often visit this country's Golden Pavilion Temple, its Himeji Castle, its Great Buddha of Kamakura, and its Torii Pack within its Fushimi Inari Shrine. Name this Asian nation. Caleb. Japan is correct. It contains famous shopping areas and capital city of Tokyo. Concept 16, miscellaneous movies. Jane Seymour plays an electronics store employee who becomes the love interest of this movie's title character. When the boy Peter is moved from his bedroom up to the attic in this film, he retaliates by pulling pranks on the new person in his bedroom and soon finds himself attacked by a drone. Name this 2020 movie that stars Robert De Niro as a man who moves in with his daughter's family. Noah? What? It was the word grandpa just in time. Nobody saw that? That's super cute. It is really cute. You should watch. All right, that's what they do to get pencil for 30 seconds. Mathematics, general math. 30-second question. The numerator of an expression is the product of 2.4 times 10 to the fifth and 4 times 10 to the eighth. The denominator of that expression is the sum of 3.2 times 10 to the 12th and 4.8 times 10 to the 12. Reduce this expression to integer form without scientific notation. Everybody close?
I only got it down to basically.
So the product, you need to multiply 2.4 times 10 to the 5th and 4 times 10 to the 8th will give you 9.6 times 10 to the 13th. Then the sum, you need to add 3.2 times 10 to the 12th with 4.8 times 10 to the 12th, which would give you 8 times 10 to the 12th. And then you would divide those and get 1.2 times 10 to the first, which would equal 12, and then 1 and times completion. That's a lot of math.
I feel like that's a lot for 30 seconds.
That's a lot for 30 seconds. A little bit. All right, toss of 18 is science, general science. Popular as a concept in recent years, what general term describes the idea that energy should be produced and food should be grown and harvested in a way that will easily allow future generations of people to do the same thing over and over again without creating long-term damage to the environment? August?
Renewable energy.
Incorrect. One, good guess. It is sustainability. It makes sense, but yeah, hard to remember. Fine arts music is topic 19. Beethoven wrote one of these in C major and another as a psalmist. Mozart's 18 examples of this piece include a requiem written for funeral services, while Bruckner's 3 examples of this piece reflect his deep belief in Catholicism. Name this musical form, usually performed during a Roman Catholic church service, whose major sections include a Gloria and an Agnus Dei. Sorry, not Catholic. August.
And
Not a hymn, good guess. It's mass, like Catholic mass. I've heard of that, I just didn't know all of that, didn't like the service itself.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
me too.
like the
Marianne. All those songs apparently mean that. Miscellaneous sports is topped up 20. This sport awards medals in jump, measured in distance, trips, awarded by highest score, and, I've heard this word. Slalom? Oh boy. Anakin?
snowboarding.
Incorrect. Where athletes have to pass on one foot through a series of 6 buoys. Identify this summer sport first credited to Ralph Samuelson, who figured if you could do this on snow, you should be able to do it on a lake. Maggie? Incorrect. You should be able to do it on a lake with a little help from a boat. It was water skiing. But you would have paddled if it was on the snow. Water skiing. It was.
Yeah, it's like,
Snowboarding skiing, no, snowboard has the one board and skiing has full.
that's all I see.
Wow. Or you have two full. Whatever. Ski, there we go. Social studies 21, current events. India declared independence from England in this city, and the resolution named for the city called for the establishment of Pakistan. This city finally opened its 17-mile Orange Line Metro train line in October 2020, a joint venture of its country's government with neighboring China. Identified as second largest city in Pakistan and capital of the country's Punjab province. Time. Lahore, Lahore. All right, problem 22 is science, physical science. Alloys containing this metal may be classified as swelter. Being deficient in this trace mineral may reduce your ability to taste and smell. Name this element, an important part of bronze, that is found in lozenges. August? Incorrect. Name this element, an important part of bronze, that is found in lozenges to fight the common cold, used to galvanize iron or steel, and is one of only two elements to start with the last letter of the alphabet. Addie? Zinc is correct. All right, score is 90-30. We have two more toss-ups before we go into our bonuses. 90-30. 23 is language arts literature. Please. Though without a college degree herself, she now teaches poetry at Yale. This daughter of the inventor of the X-Acto knife overcame anorexia to create the poem collection, The Triumph of Achilles, that includes her poem, Mock Orange. Name this American and former U.S. poet laureate who won the 2020 Nobel Prize for Literature. And I said, oh boy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Lloyd, maybe? Louise Lloyd? Sorry. All right, our last toss-up is 24 social studies history. This city's Ross's Landing area is considered the starting point of the Cherokee Trail Tier. During the Civil War, Union forces retreated to the city after the Battle of Chickamauga. In the 1960s, its mayor helped get interstates 24, 59, and 75 to go through or near what Tennessee city on the Georgia border that was home to the famous choo-choo. Who is that? Mackie? No. Chattanooga. Chattanooga choo-choo.
There's the choo-choo.
Yep. All right, we are on to bonuses. Oh, wait, can we take a break?
1 minute break. You need to have some.
1 minute break.
You need to have-
All right, really good next time. All right, let's go. All right.
Sorry, Copper is also.
Oh, I know. Also, I saw your face. I wasn't here.
Hey, guys.
Well, we can have four, I think.
Fine. 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 Nixon. All right, let's go. I'm down Nixon out, we're right.
Yes. I think this next question. A lot of people are gonna be buzzing in. No. You're gonna like it.
Ow.
All right, ready? Our first bonus category is miscellaneous popular music. You're going to name the popular musical group, past or present, from the pairs of their members. All right. Johnny Buckland and Chris Martin. They were from Coldplay. No, really. Number 2, cut. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. Anakin. Rolling Stones is correct. Part 3, George Harrison and, whoa, Anakin. Beatles, very nice. The other clue was Paul McCartney. That was Part 4, this current country group consists of Brian Kelly and Tyler Hubbard. Florida Georgia Line. Your parents will disappoint you. Next bonus category is social studies current events. And in October 2020, it became the 3rd Arab nation to reach a peace deal with Israel. Part 1, name this East African country. Caleb? Incorrect. August? A different S. Sudan. Part 2. President Trump removed it from the U.S. list of countries that sponsor terrorism after it paid millions of dollars to victims of 1998 bombings in these 2 nearby African countries. It is Kenya and Tanzania. Part 3, in 1967, this capital of what country was the site of an Arab League meeting whose participants agreed no peace with Israel, no recognition of Israel, no negotiations with it? It is Khartoum. I have a feeling we all stopped watching the news in 2012. Or maybe too much. All right, part 4. The peace deal is part of the accord already reached with Bahrain and the UAE that is named for this biblical man, considered the patriarch of both the Jewish and Arab races. Father Abraham. Father of the Jewish and Arab races. All right, the next one is mathematics algebra. Got some clues here in this passage. Michael makes twice as many dollars per hour at his job as Stephanie does. Stephanie makes $3 per hour more than Philip, but $6 per hour less than Rhonda. If the 4 people combine to make $56.75 per hour, what is the hourly pay for? First part is Michael. The hourly pay for Michael. Give it 20 seconds, but anybody knowing how to do it?
Mike is Michael. Mike is short
So
for
are we
Michael.
skipping this fast, Rocco?
No, we're still gonna do it. No.
No,
This is not legal.
this is not.
Nobody over here wants to skip it?
This is against the law.
Yeah. Michael, we're out of it, so. We're out of it. Michael was $21.50. Okay, almost at the help you now. Okay, next part is Stephanie. How much was her hourly pay? August? That is correct. Stephanie would make $10.75 an hour. $21.50 Michael made in 1 hour. 50 cents. All right. Part 3 is for Philip. How much was his hourly? Oh, thank you. Caleb. Incorrect. You're close. August.
$7.75.
Yeah, $7.75 for Philip. There's one more part. Rhonda. How much is Rhonda's hourly pay? August?
$13.75.
Not $13.75. Would have been $16.75.
Oh, wait. That's right.
I don't know. I was trying to skip it. It is 1:30 to 30.
Not legal.
They didn't vote. All right, next bonus part is science Earth science. Here's your clue. Because Earth rotates faster at the equator than at the poles, winds in the northern hemisphere appear to bend to the right. Part 1. Identify this effect. August. It is the Coriolis effect that was named after a French mathematician who discovered it. Part 2. Thus, winds blowing from west to east also appear to travel a certain distance in this direction. Caleb. Incorrect. August.
Left.
South.
Oh.
Okay. It's one of them. All right, part 3. To calculate the force caused by the effect of an object, multiply the acceleration of the object by this quantity. August?
Time.
Right?
Right.
Caleb? Good. Math. Part 4. Because of this effect, storms in the northern hemisphere swirl in this direction. Good. Maddie. Incorrect. August.
Right.
Counterclockwise.
Oh, that would be left then.
Yes, it would have been like, I'm like,
I just was one option.
oh, Dr. Seuss is up next. I was gonna say, of course he is. This person is very up to date. Language arts and literature, name these Dr. Seuss characters. Part 1. This big hearted moose, like other animals, live on his antlers. I would not get home with me. It is picnic. I can work some pictures. Part 2. He speaks for the trees and fights. Anakin. The Lorax. Very good. Fight against the one who learns. Part 3. This elephant hatches an egg. Maggie? Horton. And part 4, he ends up with a total of 500 hats. Aaron. Incorrect. It was Cubbins, Bartholomew Cubbins.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah.
Where's
What
like,
that?
where's the names and names in there?
Right? Thing 1 and thing 2. Oh, all right. Fine arts, music. Answer these about Mozart. I know. All right, part 1. He was born in this Austrian city, the setting for Broadway's The Sound of Music. Salzburg. Yeah. Part 2. In 1772, the year that he was 16, he left Austria with his family to go on 3 different performance tours in this neighboring country, then under Austrian control, not Germany. Caleb. No, incorrect, not Hungary. Italy was. Part 3. While Mozart lived in Vienna, he got to know this Italian Kapellmeister of the Viennese court. They always got along with each other in spite of the movie Amadeus, where he poisoned Mozart. It was Salieri, Antonio Salieri. Part 4. Mozart was 31 when he wrote this opera, whose title character is dragged down to hell by a statue. Anakin. Incorrect. Don Giovanni. Good guess. Good try, good try. Oh, social studies, geography is the next one. Name for a French minister of marine under King Louis XV. Nope, 14th. I don't know about. Name for a French minister of marine under King Louis XIV. The area north of this body of water was once part of West Florida. Part 1. Name this Louisiana lake whose causeway bridge over it is the world's longest continuous bridge over any body of water. And I'll probably butcher this too. Pontchartrain, Lake Pontchartrain. Part 2. Today, the lake is officially considered an estuary connected to this major body of water. Taylor. Correct. Gulf of Mexico. Part 3. Today, the lake is the northern boundary of this major city. Louisiana. August. New Orleans is the major city. Depends on where you're from or not. Well, yeah, we should probably stop after this one. Last question. I know we know this one. The bridge was damaged by this storm in 2005. Caleb. Hurricane Katrina, that is correct. For total of 60 points to 160 points.
You guys scored.
Yes.
Oh, good job. You didn't want it.
Thanks for joining.
Okay, guys, mission accomplished. Good game. Good game.